Yo, morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project as well as self-improvement process. If you would like an introduction as well as summary as to what we do on this channel, how we break it down, the project into domains of life, sub-series, analogies, and so on and so forth, and as well as the conceptual framework, the copyright-free music, as well as the live stream schedule, all that kind of stuff. All that jazz can be found in the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years, straight up to January 2021. And so you can find it all there. We're going to dive into the second segment, which is just table content. So what we're going to cover today, what you see is what you get. We're going to divide the 14 to 15 minute stream into roughly just about 7-8 segments here as usual. The first one's going to be photography. So what you see is what you get. We have some food here, some junk food. I know it seems a little bit kind of gross, but it's just really just blue cheese over some sweet potato fries. I know, but yeah, that's what it is really. And then we have some class 2 items and class 4 items in the backdrop. There's some granola bars actually on the table right here. So we're going to get to that kind of photography portion, but food and stuff like that, diet, nutrition. And then we'll move on to the second portion, which is a little bit of digital stuff over here that has to do with I guess media. So we have some stuff here that is a little bit of mantras for the day. So kind of like what you give your attention to. This one's particularly stoicism, philosophy, stuff like that. And it's just a little shout out to a channel called Stoic Reflections on Instagram. So that's gonna be something else. After that, so the third and fourth segment, the fifth one's gonna be more active. So when we get up, that's region D1 right there. So you can see that's kind of the area I'm pointing to. What we want to focus on today is region A7, A8, which is right next to me right now, the August region. So there's a lot of garbage and waste we need to get rid of. So a lot of physical stuff. That's usually the more active and engaging part of the stream where I actually get up and move about. So after the fifth, the sixth and seventh, the sixth segment usually has to do with just a laptop here, as well as stuff on screen here that has to do with, again, more digital stuff. They should really be melded in with the whole philosophy segment, but that kind of stuff that's coming up next would then be about finances, digital tracking, measurements, so on. My Excel database here tracking daily fitness. So I want to cover a little bit of stuff like that, any new inventory, stuff like that, and then also the stuff that's up here, more abstract. That's the seventh segment. Is more, we're just going to talk. We're going to sit here. We're just going to talk a little bit about the things that I really can't show you, like relationships, and specifically this one is got to do with dreams and my convictions about what I need to do today. So and getting back on track, really, I think that's the main highlight of this title's stream. This stream's title is to get back on track. So serious conviction and envisioning. So after that, we'll probably be just wrapping off with some comments at the bottom here. If you have any questions, you can leave it down there. Any commentary, I should have mentioned at the beginning. You can tell I'm still trying to sort all the different segments. There's 9 segments in 14 minutes. It's a real rush. And then, of course, the take-home message at the end of the live stream, and that's about it. So that being said, two quick disclaimers. The first thing is just, of course, I'm going to cover the good, the bad, and the ugly on stream, no matter if it has emotional insecurities or a lot of non-PC topics. I won't shy away from it, alright? Because by analogy, the Ahn Rho Project is in part a time record, a time capsule of my life. And that means I have to cover the good, the bad, and the ugly. Second thing, it's supposed to be a useful stream, so obviously it's not going to... I know I'm very serious. You can leave your funny memes and jokes and shit and giggles like that in the comments, but at the end of the day, this is supposed to be useful for me right now. I know it's not that useful for anyone else, but specifically for me, this is like a tool. It's a part of me. It's a digital extension of myself, so it has to be useful. It has to be practical. It has to serve some sort of purpose. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Let's start with the photographs right here. Yesterday, I got off work from overtime. It's OT. And I purchased some stuff from Pizza. So we have just a cup, a single portion, single double cup of just a sweet potato fries, so yams. And then we also have some blue cheese dip. I wanted to try that, I haven't tried that yet. So largely it's food sampling, but the main reason was I purchased something here that had some fiber in it. And I didn't want to buy too much. I didn't buy a pizza because I didn't want to eat too much. because I've been having some like constipation. I mean, I'm not having constipation, but I'm having too much food, and eventually I'm gonna get constipation within the next 48 hours for sure. And so I've been trying to eat a little bit less, and I know it's not the healthiest food, but it did have some fiber, and it was just the most important part was that it provided me with enough protein, or at least enough food in general, so that I could take my supplements, and that's the most important thing. So this kind of a burst snapshot. You can see that I have it right there. It costs about about $7. That's in the title right there. You see the dip. I can magnify it a little bit here, and you can see I put some of the cheese over the fries and stuff like that. And we're gonna just run through some of these photographs over here. So obviously some more high-res resolutions instead of that one that's really small. We're gonna run through just about 3 or 4 of these, and then we're gonna move on to the next segment here. So you can see the sweet potato fries. Once again, a better photograph. Might be able to share this kind of stuff on Yelp or whatever. I should probably lower the music. Again, really close-up shot. Here's like, again, this is just practicing photography, I suppose. And there's some of the blue cheese dip right here before it was opened and after it was opened. That's what it looks like on the inside. And so we're just kind of done that now. Okay. So moving on, and again, it's like, yeah, it's kind of it's kind of disgusting just to look at when you take a look after I mixed it up a little bit. Here's a better one right here, better angle shot. Okay, so that's that, and that's the food. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the next portion, I'll talk a little bit, I guess. It's not academics necessarily, but it's got to do with a little bit of media. So this is like a little bit of a shout out to, like, in terms of media channels right there. And this is social media. So Instagram, we have Stoic Reflections. So I follow very few channels, but if there's one that I do follow, it's Stoic Reflections, because these are the kind of principles that I had to use way back when I was a kid to get myself out of things like anger management, domestic violence, all sorts of financial debt and ruin and poverty. So that kind of stuff like that, and yeah, just a lot of blood-related issues. And so this one I don't actually agree with necessarily. It says, "You become what you give your attention to," by Epictetus. And I think some people in the comment section mentioned some pretty good points. If you want to check that out, you can just go over to Instagram and just take a look. But basically, there's some people who said no, because life is not that cheery, and you can't just expect that when you put your attention to something that you'll get something in return. Sometimes it's more cruel than that. You might not get anything out of your hard work. And so I can understand that perspective as well. But of course, practically speaking, you do want to keep moving, and I think that's what the main message in that image was supposed to be about. Moving on. Okay, so let's get up now. Okay, you can tell I got rid of it very quickly because I don't want to get smacked with that copyright shit. So we're getting up now, more active. This is region D1 right here. We have some items we want to cover very quickly. So first of all, I cut my hair, and so you see all this like paper towels and shit. That's disgusting, right? I mean, my room's still pretty disgusting right now compared to where it was like 6 months ago. Everything was like spick and span. But you can see all this hair here, and I just cut my own hair. I do cut my own hair. There's some paper towels. Those are class 2 items. I mean, tissue, toilet paper. So I'm going to toss that into the garbage can, stuff like that. We have these granola bars as well. So these are class 4 items. That's class 1 because it's my own. Toilet paper is class 2 because it's from my guardian, stuff like that. And then we have this class 4, which is from my colleagues at the workplace. So basically, it's near the expiry. So we have this Kirkland signature stuff that I've shown before. Took it back home. That was part of my dinner. Aside from the sweet potato fries and the blue cheese dip, which is right over here. So there's all garbage now. You can see some shit here. I'm not going to finish the rest. The rest is just garbage. And so I mixed it in with also some of this. I wanted to mention some groceries from the previous week: Indian snacks, dalbiji, haldrams. So I stick in here. Basically, I put some of this stuff inside with the seasoning, with the fries. It's a lot like chickpea flour, stuff like that. I know it doesn't sound all that appetizing, but if you're Indian, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? So, okay. That's all trash. Actually, so is this. We have this grocery stuff here. Some bread expiring, so I'll put it in here. And we also have some just inside here, like this Old Townhouse recto verso. What is that called? Flip sides, Bretzel crackers. And so in here, this is a class 2 item. Comes from my guardians. Not supposed to eat stuff like that because it plays into emotional insecurities, and that's my responsibility, my fault for eating things that I shouldn't be, that make me uncomfortable, right? Just my fault. So I'm gonna take this away. I'm gonna throw it away, and don't do that again, you know. Anyways, I had to buy a new package today just to replace it for them. So I'm gonna move all this stuff here. This is recyclable. This is all trash, and I'm just gonna take all this stuff here and move to the side here to region D1 and take this out into that bag when I go to get the groceries today. And so region A7 here now has just paperwork, which is a lot of paperwork I need to get done probably over the week. But until I can get the paperwork electronically scanned and budgeted and all that kind of stuff, it's gonna stay there. It's gonna be a mess still then. So we're done about 3 segments now. We're moving on about 10 minutes in, keeping track of the time. So segment 6, like I said, let's move on to the digital portion that has to do with so first of all, let's talk about okay, right here. So fitness wise, I'm still trying to recover. I'm still trying to recover. This is not the database I have like 20 spreadsheets, and spreadsheets are not the best way to run your life, but you know, it's the way I'm working with it right now. That's the part of the Ahn Rho Project that tracks and measures my diet, my sleep cycles, when am I arriving to work on time, how am I managing my relationships and everything like that. So just on a very general level, I don't want to micromanage. But the fact is, things are right now kind of slipping into recovery, but I'm just kind of like plateaued for the past week, and it's kind of going on a rebound. Especially when it comes to exercise too. I've been eating too much. That's another thing. So at least I managed to clear my guts out. That's been helpful. I went to the washroom like 3 times in the past like 36 hours. So in terms of like taking a dump, like taking a shit. All right, so moving on. All right, not the most pleasing thing. We have about 3 minutes left, and the next segment up here is more abstract. So let's turn to the side here. I can tell the contrast is really heavy, but a serious conviction. You know, let's turn to the light here. This is a little bit interesting. So let's talk about abstract stuff here. So the 7th segment, serious conviction, and basically you know, relationships, I think, and as well as just managing. So income tax, getting again back to my accountant, as well as sending some resources to him. He's going through a difficult time, as am I. Making sure that I meet my commitments to my employee, my HR departmental manager at the workplace, trying to show up on time again. I actually, for the first time, woke up 2-3 hours late as opposed to 6 hours late. So that's a big improvement, but it's still late, and I need to keep moving back on track. And so I also have to get a lot of stuff done. Obviously, I have to scan all this shit here. I still have to get the groceries, get my cycles and my habit back on track. One thing that had to do with that was also envisioning over here. When I put my fist up here, the contrast increases. But we see envisioning. So that has to do with a little bit of dreams and stuff. Let's switch the color around. Let's make this a little bit red, a little more interesting. But flash it up. You know, envisionings had to do with dreams, or not dreams, but like, you know, when you kind of think through what you want to say to people you really care about. And sometimes I'm not talking about arguments. It's just me trying to explain or describe the situation, so or you know, resolve certain miscommunications or misunderstandings. And I've been running through a bunch of that, overthinking, self-analytical stuff that is just nonsense. You know, you don't need to do that kind of stuff. But it's important that I did capture at least what was going on in my mind, so I have a good sense of what it is that is bothering me. So I wrote down very quickly on Dropbox this morning the things that were kind of polluting my mind from what I really need to do to get done. And so this morning, so it was like stuff to do with my departmental manager, some of the colleagues who are really treating me like family, and so on and so forth. Okay, and as well as my brother's coming back, so also my guardians, again, domestic issues there. What did I have to get done this morning? Actually, I forgot to mention that I had to still pick up the laundry, so that's something that should have been physically covered in the 4th segment. Anyways, moving on. All right, so we're done the abstract segment. We're done everything else. So the last thing is, are there any comments? And there's none. Nobody's here, so that's good. All right, I have only about 45 seconds left anyway, so let's deliver a take-home message, which is what? To take care of your health, your finances, yourself. Make sure you're a strong, disciplined, responsible individual. You know, and I'm not to preach or anything. I'm just trying to practice what I do myself. And I'm not doing a very good job at it right now, but you know, we're gonna try and improve on that. Constantly keep it moving. So I hope to see a better version of you as well myself in the next live stream tomorrow morning. This is Ahn Rho signing out, and thank you to all my hypothetical imaginary viewers for tuning in. Ciao.